starts now.
And thanks for sticking with us here at 7:30. It was just a beautiful late spring day in Charlotte. A great day to be outside, say at the park. The problem is, according to the Trust for Public Land, we just don't have enough of them. Every year, the nonprofit gives a score to the largest communities in the country. And we've talked about those rankings before because Charlotte-Mecklenburg has not scored very well in them. And guess what? We didn't again this year. In fact, as you note here, we slipped. Out of 100 cities, we were 87th, a third straight year where we have dropped in these rankings.
So if you look at it in the context, it's a good metric to look at from that comparison standpoint, but it doesn't actually reflect some of the things that we feel are important and should be measured.
That right there is Charlotte-Mecklenburg Park and Recreation Director Lee Jones 3 years ago when we talked about those rankings then. And it's true, the Trust for Public Land does look at some specific metrics, and some of them we score pretty miserably on. Now, here are the top 5 in the rankings overall. Washington, D.C. comes out as number 1, followed then by Minneapolis, Minnesota. Then you've got St. Paul right next door. Irvine, California, and Arlington, Virginia rounds out the top 5. So let's just compare us to number 3 on that list, St. Paul, Minnesota. Almost everyone, 99% of people living there can walk to a park within 10 minutes. In Charlotte-Mecklenburg, it's just 38%. In St. Paul, 15% of all land is used for parks and recreation. Here, less than half that, 7%. And when it comes to spending, St. Paul spends $242 per person on parks. In Charlotte-Mecklenburg, it's $110. St. Paul also trounces us on things available in those parks: basketball hoops, playgrounds, and rec and senior centers. Ashley Mahoney with our news partners at Axios Charlotte is writing about this topic, and we talked to her about it. And we started with why parks and these rankings are important.
You know, your public dollars pay for them. So think of it like a country club that you will always have access to. You can go out at any time, go spend time with your family, get fresh air. It's better, linked to better health outcomes and just a healthier lifestyle.
So actually, in these rankings, we were already kind of low on the scale, and we've slipped some more. What were the reasons behind that?
Charlotte is ranked near the bottom for a very long time. And the biggest area that Charlotte struggles with, Charlotte-Mecklenburg, if you will, is access. The biggest point where their points are detracted is whether or not you have a park within a 10-minute walk. So many people in Mecklenburg County don't have that. So as the county continues to acquire land, they've acquired more than 400 acres so far this year. They've acquired more than 1,500 acres so far in the last 3 fiscal years. You'll see that score gradually begin to improve. But until then, we'll probably still see a lot of numbers like this.
We're kind of a greenway heavy community, it feels like, right? There's a lot of greenways, a lot of work being done to connect those in various places. Do you get dinged on that when it comes to these rankings?
Powers that be, the Public Land Trust will take, let's say, Little Sugar Creek Greenway, for instance, and they do consider how many people live within a 10-minute walk of that. So in a way, you benefit from it, but it's not considered an amenity. So there are certain criteria that different areas are ranked on. So how many basketball hoops do you have? How many playgrounds do you have? But they don't take into consideration how vast your greenway landscape happens to be. And like you said, the Mecklenburg County leaders are prioritizing greenways right now.
What is the county saying about all this? Do they worry about these rankings? Is it something that brings up discussions in their meetings?
I think it's certainly something that they're aware of, and I'm sure it's a great point of frustration when you see how much they are investing. You've seen, I think the biggest area that they're addressing is how much they're spending for land acquisition. Land acquisition is going to be key to helping more people have access to parks and greenways, whether it's a 10-minute walk or a 10-minute drive. The more land you can access as Charlotte develops, and we've talked about this before, the better chance you have at preserving that land for future use. So that's $6 million in fiscal year 2021, all the way up to the $50 million that they've allocated now. That's been the biggest jump. So they're aware of it. They're certainly aware of it. And I think all of us just have to be patient with these rankings and not take them too much to heart.
Ashley Mahoney there with Axios Charlotte. You can read more by going to axios.com/local/Charlotte.